Hello, greetings and welcome. It's been quite a long time since I've uploaded a video here on YouTube, but here I am, I'm back. I've been very busy, as I know most of you have. Of course, we all have our lives, and business-wise, very busy. And also, I've been really working on improving the level of magical power that my students have. So we've been really working on raising the magical power, working on some very new tech, unique type of magical procedures, a lot related with Eastern magic that we do here in Japan. Anyway, so today, the reason I'm putting out this video is because I've received a lot, and I mean a lot of questions, and I usually answer these questions one-on-one with the person who corresponded with me directly. But then I thought quite a few people were asking similar questions, and I haven't put out a question and answer session for everybody in quite some time. So I thought this is the opportune time to do so. So what I've done is I've just selected at random several questions, and I have them here. I printed them out. Some of them are pretty interesting. Well, actually, all of them are very interesting, but we're going to be bouncing all over the place. But what I hope you get out of this audio video session today is perhaps a lot of answers, a lot of ideas, a lot of suggestions. Now, anything that I say naturally is my opinion. And some people don't like the way I present things because I don't sugarcoat things. Usually I don't anyway. I just tell you as a matter of fact because I don't want to waste anybody's time. And the thing is this, if you feel offended, well, I mean, it's up to you to feel offended. I don't think I'm going to be saying anything offensive today, but just direct, right? But you don't have to accept anything I say if you don't want to. You can just take my words as being my experience, and I have extensive experience in magic, over 40 years. But just bear in mind, I am always going to give you the meat and potatoes. Not a fluffy type of person, usually, unless I'm narrating some kind of stories. But I haven't done that for ages. We're talking magic, and I want to get down to giving you solutions, ideas, suggestions. And from this, maybe you're going to pick up quite a few gems that'll help you break through barriers. Maybe you're facing some blockages. Maybe you're going astray. Maybe you're undecided as to, how to approach magic, or you're looking for something very different. I'm going to give you all of that. I'm going to give you solutions as to a few really good things you should be doing or you should be trying out. So let's get to it. So the first question is kind of interesting. It's an interesting question because it starts off like this. Has humankind opened portals and have governments harnessed spiritual energies and played with time? And what do you think happened to Malaysia Airlines flight MH570? Now, I just got to do a little correction here. I think the questioner meant Malaysia Airlines flight MH370. That's the one that went missing a long time ago, several years ago. In fact, I remember seeing the news about that. It took off, I think, from Kuala Lumpur or Penang Airport, one of those. And a couple of hours later, it just disappeared. It disappeared, and then when they traced its flight path, there was some strange flight patterns. It had flown back over the island, and nobody knew exactly what was going on. So it disappeared, and documentaries were made, and one of the theories that came out was that the pilot went rogue. And when I heard that, I thought that was a bit odd, but in rare cases it does happen. Then I watched a couple of other documentaries, and yeah, there were inconsistencies because all the family, the relatives, the friends said that the pilot was actually a decent person, very focused, very positive individual, no indication of any weird behavior anyway. So anyway, that's what happened. Then I saw recently, actually, which was kind of interesting, some videos that were purporting the theory that this airline's flight was more or less stealing secrets, or actually the members that were on board this flight were trying to steal technology, and they were going to bring this technology into China or Russia, one of those, or maybe both. And that what happened was that the US military, or similar, teleported the airplane, warped it out like Star Trek into another area. And so anyway, I looked at this, and the videos that I saw were not really conclusive. I couldn't really tell if it was special effects or whatnot. But I think what really happened is that regardless of whether those videos of the airplane kind of disappearing into a portal or a vortex, whether they're real or not, doesn't matter. I think the person that made that or released that put it out there because he or she knew that this needed to be investigated, and the theory needed to be thoroughly brought up and investigated. So my opinions and my feelings and my clairvoyance is that yes indeed, humankind has, and certain governments have, the technology to play around with opening portals and even teleport objects. However, doesn't mean that this case is conclusively so, because from what I gather from my magical instincts, from my clairvoyance, the tech that they have now cannot teleport consistently, at least, organic items, organic objects, things that are organic, meaning animals or humans. There's a 50-50 hit rate, 50-50 miss rate, meaning like when they do it, all the people die. Sometimes they survive, sometimes they're malformed. Sometimes the target, the object, is okay, but anything organic is not. It's disintegrated, disappeared. And sometimes the actual item is heavily damaged. So I think that in this case it is plausible, but it's not proven, but it is plausible. So questions and research need to be conducted. So anyhow, that's my take on that now. So you can explore it further if you want. It's about MH370, the mystery of the Malaysia Airlines flight that disappeared, I think, over a decade ago. All right, very good. This next question, we're going into a completely different direction, more or less. What is the importance of meditation and silence in magic? Well, it's extremely important if you really want to progress to unheard of levels of prowess and power, so to speak, because we are bombarded daily with all kinds of frequencies and thoughts and energies, which a lot of them are negative, a lot of them are persuasive. They're trying to contain us, and they're trying to direct us into a certain way of thinking or not thinking, and interference. That it's really important to meditate in order to regain our center and regain our focus and quieten the mind, shutting it out eventually. It takes time, it takes practice, of course. But once you master it, then you allow that connection to the source that you should be seeking. And the connection to the source, I've alluded to this, I've explained it in depth in two courses, the Adeptus course and the Exemptus course. Yes, so I've explained in detail in the Adeptus course and the Exemptus course. Now, if you're interested, you can go to my Gumroad store, so to speak. I have all my unique courses there. You're going to see some absolutely out of this world, high-tech magic that you cannot find anywhere else. If you're interested, have a look there. If you're not, that's fine. I just wanted to put that plug there just in case you were not aware of it. Okay. So that is the importance. Now, focusing is really important, and the best way to focus, is, of course, is to train to stop the mind from rambling and from echoing all these messages that we've been bombarded with. So that's why meditation is very important, extremely important for the magician. And focusing, as you know, the focus is a vital thing to manifest for magic. If you cannot focus, if you cannot visualize, if you cannot still the mind, you're just going to be mediocre at magic at best. Okay? So it is a vital skill. And of course, you should not be talking about your magical rituals, or what you're doing or what you're going to be doing. Unless, of course, you're a teacher and you're using that as an analogy or to help your students learn a point. You really shouldn't be talking about it. I don't talk about magic to anybody else unless, of course, I'm addressing you or my private students. And that is it. It is vital that you keep things to yourself. One of the reasons is because, even, to be honest, we have to acknowledge that human nature is not always nice. Human nature is not always about people trying to help us. There's a lot of envy out there. There are people that are overly competitive too and everything when they shouldn't be. They should be helpful. But if they see that you're doing something that is making you very happy or very successful and they are not, then they're going to try to throw a spanner in it. Or even inadvertently, maybe the energies they release will kind of interfere with what you're trying to do, even if they're not really intentionally trying to do it. But that is an important point that you always have to keep in mind, especially with other magically minded people, because people that are dabbling in magic are dangerous. They're a loose cannon. It's like they've picked up a gun and they don't really know how to use it. They know the trigger will fire the gun, will shoot the gun, but they don't know how to put the safety on. They don't know how to aim properly. So even if they're trying to aim for one thing, they may hit something else. If they're not trying to hit you, they may, because they're inept. And we want to be the opposite. We want to be adept at everything we do. So yeah, the importance of meditation, the importance of stilling the mind, the importance of focusing is vital. Now, what's the importance of connecting to the source? Well, you have to connect to the source. That is the where everything originates from. Now, the source doesn't mean it's just one thing, because unfortunately, with our minds are like mud. It's difficult to grasp the concept that the source of all is not necessarily one thing, because it can divide itself. Even calling it is incorrect. Calling it God is incorrect. But we are part of it, and we've been splintered from this because the source, we're going to call it the source of all, wanted to expand and gain experiences, and by doing so we gained independence, we gained individuality as well. And further to that, as spiritual energy and a spiritual force, we agreed, either through trickery or as a challenge, to enter into this physical universe, which is an illusion, by the way, controlled by the Archons. And it is a challenge because the Archons are trying to, and I explained this in my other courses as well. I don't want to mind boggle you too much, but we are being kind of contained in a simulation. Now, the positive aspect of this is that it's still a beautiful simulation. It's a simulation of the actual reality that's out there, that vibrates at a higher frequency. This is a lower frequency vibration, and it is controlled and interfered with, unfortunately. But we should be enjoying it. We should be positive with it. We should be helping others. And the final point is that we should ascend from this. And by connecting to the source of all, we are opening up these channels, these energy channels, where consistently increasing currents of magical energy and spiritual energy are being poured into us gradually to build us up. It's a bit like weight training, where your trainer will get you to do a certain number of reps at a certain number of weight, and then gradually increase and change your program as you grow and get stronger and better. And that's how it works. Now, a lot of the magical societies, organizations, mystery schools got close, but they missed the point because they are focusing on a point that's still within the universe. But to connect to the source, you must intentionally state that you're connecting to the source of all, beyond all universes. Otherwise, you're stuck in this illusory bubble, and you're connecting to something within this illusory bubble, and you're still under the archontic influence, and you're not really free. You'll never become free. So that's a mistake that witchcraft and these mystery schools are making, knowingly or unknowingly. The other problem is that when they initiate all these mystery schools and even witch covens, whatever, when they do it, they connect you to an egregore. Now the problem is that the egregore gets contaminated by other people with thoughts that are not aligned by yours, and sometimes very harmful, and also the leader itself will still contain control of you and how you act and how you think. Heavily so, actually. And that's why schisms occur, because there's also little subsets of groups that occur, and negative kind of influxes of energy kind of affect people. And so these groups end up becoming fairly, they litigate a lot. They fight within each other. Eventually they break up, but anyway, you know what I'm alluding to, what I'm getting at. So when you connect to the source of all, it's an individual connection. It's like a virtual private network. Nothing can interfere with that connection. It's a private connection that you have. It's a pure connection that you have. And that is what we do with the magic that I'm teaching anyway. So I'm all for ensuring that you keep your independence and you are in control, rather than the master or the teacher really controlling a group like a cult. We don't want that. You don't want that. You want to regain your freedom and stay free. Now, the teacher is there as a guide. You must respect your teacher. Otherwise, just as when you're ready, the teacher appears. Well, if you're being an asshole, or you're showing that you're not respectful of the teachings, then the teacher will disappear. And the teacher has the right to reject any student that is not up to the standard. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles, whether you like to hear that or not. That's reality. It's we can call it the sad fact, yeah, but it's true. So gratitude is very important as well in all of this, connecting to the source in a loving way. It's all in favor of helping us then produce the desired results of growth, spiritual, we could call it liberation, freedom, growth, expansion, and then attaining our true destiny with the co-creator. And we don't have to come back here on earth, because we're stuck in this karmic cycle now. And that's why there's this amnesia kind of veil. So we cannot actually carry on our experience while we're stuck here. We're living in a trap, so to speak. All right, but it's important not to do anything stupid, and we have to wake up properly without hastening our departure unnaturally. Otherwise, you're going to reincarnate again in the same situation that may be worse. So let's move on to something a little bit more positive. I know that was getting a little bit dark, but it's important for you to hear that. And if you, like I said, if you want to learn more in depth, and also the type of magic that will put you in control, have a look at my Gumroad page. I have made available previously very secret courses in Magick that you cannot get anywhere else that will give you the skills, the abilities, and the type of magic to bring you the results and solutions that you need for a better life and to grow spiritually as well as magically. The next question, let's move on. Let's see. What's the importance of building magical power that most Western occultists either don't do or do incorrectly or don't do enough of? Okay, so I've alluded to a bit of that, but it's basically connecting to the source and then channeling that energy and cycling it through your body, because it's important to open up the centers in the body that are kind of conductors as well of all these energies, and then back up to the source. And once you're connected, then it's very hard for any malevolent forces to invade your body. It really is, because you've made that connection with the highest source of all. So anything lower that's still more powerful than you does not have the right to interfere with you, or if it does, there'll be consequences, very, very harsh consequences for that individual, that spirit, or that entity. So that's why it's also very important. Are there hidden magical systems left in the world? Yes, well, I teach the Kuji system. The Kuji system is a system that is very, very ancient, and the ancient high-level samurais, monks, and ninjas used to tap into and manipulate the matrix, so to speak, in order to manifest things. And usually for survival. They used it a lot for survival, or to manifest situations or things they needed in life that were urgent. So it's very, very powerful magic. And it also helps them more or less tap into the matrix and direct an outcome or steer away from something happening. That is the power of the Kuji. There's that system. There's the Katakuna system, the Futomani system, and the El Mudo system. They're over 10,000 years old. They predate a lot of things that came through from Egypt and China into Japan as well. And the El Mudo system is a positive talismanic magical system, which is very, very powerful. And I'm going to be releasing more on that system very soon. I'm a little bit behind. But the Katakuna system, Futomani magical system, they are sacred alphabets. And just writing down these alphabets, just looking at them, have the ability to activate positive frequencies and clear out regions and areas, almost like an exorcism, but very, very smoothly, and bring a lot of positive changes into your life. Now, it's not necessary to know exactly what they mean, and in order to know what they mean, you really need to learn the Japanese language. So I'm teaching it step by step, where I'm teaching the Katakuna Futomani magical alphabets and a system on how to cast spells by combining those alphabets, which we've designed onto cards. And you don't even have to know the meaning of it so much, but I've put a pronunciation guide, and you say the spell, you'll get effects happening. Later in the future, I will be teaching all the meanings and whatever, but that's like theoretical, okay? I'm not going to go into that now. Once again, you can have a look at the Gumroad, my Gumroad store. The courses are there. Have a look. If it's for you, that's great. If you feel it's not, then that's fine. No problems. But do subscribe. Do like this video or share it. Pass it on, because I think a lot of people can benefit from even the simple messages that are contained in this short video. Next question. What do you think of Kabbalah, Goetic spirits, and spell work? Well, that's interesting. I have done all that in the past. I was an adept in the Magical Order of the Golden Dawn a long, long time ago, which I left a long, long time ago, because what I'm doing now is, in my mind, well, not just my mind, it is So much better, so much more powerful, so much more effective. So I've done all that, and I don't need to waste my time with those things. Now, one of the things I've seen is like the dabbling with magic. It's proliferated, and a lot of people think that magic is a game, but magic is like a loaded gun. You can really hurt yourself and others if you don't take it seriously, if you don't train properly, if you don't make an effort. And kind of invoking all these demons and then worshipping these angels and deities is a honey trap, because I want you to really examine it carefully. What are you doing? You are handing over your power. And these entities and so-called gods may give you a little bit. But the way it works is that they know that you come to them in times of desperation. If your life is smooth and wonderful, you won't worship them anymore, or not with the same energy, intensity, and desire and frequency. So what they do, they'll give you a little bit, and then they'll take away a lot. And then you'll come seeking for their help because you're desperate, and you give them more, and they'll give you a little bit, and you feel comfort, and then they take away. So you end up with a very messed up life that's really dependent, and you lose your dependence. And I'm teaching my students to stay away from that and regain their dependence magically by connecting to the source and using deities and spirits as guides, and make sure that we enter, if we communicate with them as co-workers. We don't worship them. We thank them if they help us, and if they don't help us, we don't thank them. But there's a certain method and a methodology that is very simple, and yet it makes a huge difference. And it's not about torturing anything or doing anything like that. You don't have to. But it's a way where you safeguard your power and you don't fall into that honey trap. Because once you fall into it, you've invited these entities. You've given them the key to enter your life and enter your mind and body at any time. It's very, very hard. It's like a virus. It's very hard to fight a virus that keeps mutating with medicines that you have once it's invaded your body, or like a cancer, I should say. It's a very hard fight. So anyway, that is all I have to say today. I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions, get in touch with me. Have a look at the description. I'll put links there to my magical courses, very life-changing, very powerful courses that I think you're gonna have a look at, and it's gonna blow your mind away. And the levels of power, the levels of growth, the levels of attainment and manifestation will increase for you. Now, having said that, really ask yourself, am I ready for life-changing, powerful magic? Because it's not a game. It's not a game. There are huge benefits, but you got to put the time, the effort, and the energy, and then you will reap the rewards. If you're a dabbler, you're just going to do more harm than good. So do it properly, or don't do it at all. That's my advice, okay? All right, having said that, well, thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this, please click the like button, subscribe, share this video to everyone you know, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon. Cheers.